Come on, let's go eat. Come on.
Parents of fussy little feeders dread dinner time. Often, food ends up everywhere, except for in their mouths. 3 real-life mums who know all too well the frustrations of fussy feeding are about to get help from the expert, Australian baby whisperer Shane Rowley.
We are so glad you're here.
Yay! Let's go and get eating. Okay, Lisa, tell me about Meg's eating habits.
Well, she hasn't really progressed very far in the finger food department. When we give her chicken or toast, she'll gag and sometimes throw up.
Tell me, Jo, what's happening with meal times in your home?
From very early on, Lucy has refused a spoon, which has made feeding a bit difficult. So we've relied on finger food, but that has sort of limited our options.
Okay, Pip, tell me about what's happening with your little Zara.
Well, Zara started off eating reasonably well. We started her with pureed Heinz food. But the problem is she hasn't really moved on from that.
So there's lots for me to work with all 3 of you today, so let's get started. Okay, here we are in the kitchen, girls, and I've got some pretty staggering facts to show you. The first thing is puree food, it cannot be underestimated. Have a little look at what goes into 1 cup of vegetable puree. So we'll be looking at between half a cup to a cup at a serving.
When I think about the finger food that Lucy's eating, she might eat 1 zucchini in a week.
The other thing is, this is about 5 days worth of food intake in puree. And so, again, if we're trying to finger feed our babies, you're not going to get anywhere near this in that 4 to 5 days. Okay, guys, one of the biggest areas that parents have problems with is introducing protein into the puree veggies. And one of the reasons is everybody is putting too much chicken in their veggies. For 1 breast of chicken, I would use this many vegetables. What is your proportions being, your ratio?
Well, in the past I've done 1 portion of chicken to 1 portion of like sweet potato or carrot.
Okay, so it's far too much. What's her reaction been?
She's gagged.
This is why we're going to look at A, how much protein needs to go into your veggies, and B, how do we blend the 2 so that it doesn't make them gag and we don't damage that delicate trust. What I want you to do is, once you've pureed your vegetables up and they are so silky smooth, you add your 1 chicken breast to that. So it's really important that you understand this step is crucial because you don't want an undercooked chicken. Everyone's frightened of that, but I generally find that's never the problem. It's overcooking that causes the problem. You should be able to literally dip your finger into the food and rub like this and not feel the chicken.
Now that the food is prepared, the next step is looking at the feeding routine. 10-month-old Meg doesn't like finger foods. She also struggles to eat more than a couple of mouthfuls for dinner.
I always begin meal times in the same way. I always use bib on. The second thing is having a look at what spoon to use. Having a firmer base spoon and a spoon that's got a finer tip. With the spoons going into their mouth, I usually use my right hand on their right hand and it just distracts them a little. You actually want to go with a really fast feed. And we have about 3 to 5 minutes on her attention span. And now it's time to end the meal. So what we want to do is always end it with the weight game, which means they look to us for guidance and they're happily starting to let us govern the beginning, during and the end of the meal. Wait. And when she stops screaming at me, then I can say, hop up, and take her out that way. So you've had lots and lots of tips today. So I'm hoping that with all that extra information, you're going to be able to move forward and feeding's going to be much easier for you in the future.